Welcome to the Alcohol Minimalist podcast. I'm your host, Molly Watts. If you want to change your drinking habits and create a peaceful relationship with alcohol, you're in the right place. This podcast explores the strategies I use to overcome a lifetime of family alcohol abuse, more than 30 years of anxiety and worry about my own drinking, and what felt like an unbreakable daily drinking habit. Becoming an alcohol minimalist means removing excess alcohol from your life so it doesn't remove you from life. It means being able to take alcohol or leave it without feeling deprived. It means to live peacefully, being able to enjoy a glass of wine without feeling guilty and without needing to finish the bottle. With science on our side, we'll shatter your past patterns and eliminate your excuses. Changing your relationship with alcohol is possible. I'm here to help you do it. Let's start now. Well, hello and welcome back to the Alcohol Minimalist podcast with me, your host, Molly Watts, coming to you from, well, it is a surprisingly, unexpectedly rainy Oregon today. Hasn't rained for a while, and it rained overnight. I at least was not expecting it. There's been a lot of dry days, and I just didn't realize that today, evidently, is our one rainy day. So it's okay. It's kind of nice to have it rain overnight and then wake up and it's got that rain smell. And I'm looking forward to a day where I don't have to feel guilty about not going outside and being super productive out there in my yard. I can just kind of cuddle up and maybe even watch some football. So it is mid-September when this is hitting, and I want to do a little housekeeping here before we jump into this week's episode. The first thing is that I got a really nice comment from one of my longtime listeners, members of my Facebook group, and she posted it in our group, and she said, I just want to thank you, Molly. Something that, she's been listening to podcasts for a long time, working on her relationship with alcohol for a couple of years now. And she heard something, just, one small line that really caught her attention. And it was just a simple thing, but it really made a shift for her. And she was just commenting on that, about how just one small line kind of resonated with her suddenly out of the blue. And I bring it up because I think that is a very common experience, and I really want to encourage you to keep listening. Go back and listen to old episodes. Listen to other people too, because you never know when something is just going to strike the right chord at the right time, and it's going to make the difference for you in terms of creating sustainable change. So always be listening to these episodes, looking for that one nugget that resonates, that makes a difference for you, that might be the thing that really pushes you towards the change that you're hoping to make. That's number one. Number two, we are getting ready for More Sober October over in the Alcohol Minimalists group. More Sober October means that we are prioritizing alcohol-free days with our goal of having more alcohol-free days than we typically have on a regular monthly basis. So if you would like to join us, I would love for you to come along. I'm going to do extra coaching sessions for free during the month. You have to be a part of the More Sober October group on my mailing list, and I will put in the show notes how to sign up for that. And it will also be over in the Facebook group. So get involved and decide to make a More Sober October with some free support. Lastly, we are getting ready for No Binge November as well. And as a part of No Binge November, I will be offering my course, Just One More, the No Binge course, which I have that is specific to binging, and I will be offering it again. I only offer it at select times of the year. I will be offering it getting ready for No Binge November. So stay tuned for details on that. I just wanted to put it out there that it's coming, and it is an opportunity, especially if binging is something that is a problem for you. All right, on to this week's show. And it kind of actually ties in with binge behavior, but, it's something that I hear. We're tackling something that I hear about really often from listeners, from Facebook group members, from my coaching clients. And it goes something like this. I'm good all week. I stick to my plan. I don't drink Monday through Thursday, but then Friday night comes and everything falls apart. Maybe you can relate. Maybe it's not just the drinking, but it's the way that you feel afterward, like you're failing, like you just don't have enough willpower, like maybe moderation isn't for you and you should just give up and go totally sober. Well, let's pause right there, okay? Because that conclusion that you're broken or incapable of moderation is not only wrong, but it's actually unhelpful. So today, I really want to flip that script and I want to show you that what's happening during your week when you think you're being so good, the way that you think, that the way that you plan, the way that you push yourself and probably suppress some of your emotions, it's what's actually leading you to overdrink on the weekend. This episode is all about emotional pressure, habit learning, and building in relief before your brain demands it in the form of alcohol. So let's dive in. So first off, let's get curious about this idea of being good, quote unquote, all week. What does that even mean? Usually what people mean when they say that to me is something like, I didn't drink, or I stuck to my rules. I made a doable drink plan and I stuck to it. I followed the plan perfectly. And that might sound like success, especially if you're used to kind of all or nothing thinking, right? But here's what I want you to know, or at least I want you to ask yourself. Were you peaceful during the week? Were you aware of your emotions during the week? Did you build in time during the week to decompress? Because here's what I see in a lot of people, and I've definitely been there myself. We power through the week, we stay busy, we push through our work stress, our family demands, our inner anxieties. We really don't process anything, we don't rest, and we just defer all of our emotional needs to the weekend. And what happens? Well, by Friday night, your brain is like, okay, I've held it together all week. Give me something, anything to help me breathe. And if alcohol has been your go-to relief, then guess what your brain will suggest? Yep, that's right, a drink. So let's go a little bit deeper. What's really happening in your brain by the weekend? Because this isn't about running out of willpower. This is about emotional pressure building all week long. Every time that you bite your tongue instead of expressing your frustrations, when you say yes when you actually mean no, when you tell yourself, I'll relax later, you are adding pressure. And your brain notices. It keeps score, even if you're not consciously aware of it. And that pressure becomes kind of a background hum. And by Friday, when the demands let up even slightly, your brain sees it as an opening and it says, okay, now let's escape, let's unwind, let's drink. And this isn't weakness. This isn't lack of willpower. This is simply brain training and conditioning. And it's incredibly common in daily habit drinkers, especially those of us who've used alcohol not just to socialize, but to emotionally check out. It's what I call, or what you might think of as relief drinking. It's not about getting drunk. It's about getting away from your own thoughts, from your own feelings, from your own life. Hey, it's Molly, here to talk to you about Sunnyside. If you've listened to this show for any length of time, you know that Sunnyside is my number one recommendation for drinking apps that help you change your relationship with alcohol. I've been a Sunnyside partner for more than 3 years now. And one of the key reasons that I chose Sunnyside to be my app of choice is that they are really focused on continuous improvement, just like me. And for you, it is continuous improvement of the app in terms of how the customer is experiencing it. They've completely redesigned the progress tab from the ground up, which makes it easier for you to see your progress over time. They've introduced mini infographics to help you better see the big picture of drinks reduced and how dry days have added up since you joined Sunnyside. They have a dry day streak tracker now for those of you that are focused on taking a real extended break from drinking. And they intelligently surface trends in your data to highlight any positive things for you, and like a steady decrease in overall drinks over the course of time. These changes and these improvements are something that Sunnyside has continued to do ever since I started working with them. You can check it out over at sunnyside.co/Molly and get started on a 15-day free trial today. You know, your brain, your lower brain especially, has one job when it comes to rewards and survival. It is to remember what made you feel better last time and to do it as efficiently as possible. When you drink to escape even just a little bit, your brain logs that as, hey, this works. Let's do it again. That's what dopamine does. It's a dopamine-based learning system. It's how all of our habits are formed, not because we're addicted, but because our brains are efficient. So even if you say, I only drink on weekends, I'm not drinking that much, I don't feel out of control, your brain still remembers the emotional payoff. So it anticipates it. It starts craving it. It whispers, hey, we made it to Friday. Where's our relief? And, trust me when I tell you that as somebody that typically only includes alcohol on the weekends these days, that is something that I am very, very familiar with. And the thing is that we really want to pay attention. And if you want to change that cycle, if it is a cycle that's not serving you, if you are over drinking or binging on the weekends, then we've got to look at what's going on before we get to the weekend. All right? Here are 3 ways that you need to look at things during the week. Your brain is not a machine. And so we need to create some micro restorations during the week. If you don't give it rest, relief, and regulation, it will take what it can get. So don't wait for Friday night. Build in those small moments of relief during the week. Look for 5 minutes of silence in the car before you go inside the house. Go for a walk without your phone. Go sit outside with your coffee. Let yourself cry. Journal. Feel something without needing to fix it or change it. Allow the feeling to be there. That was actually specifically what that post that I talked about in the very beginning, what she said that she heard is, I can handle boredom, right? Allow feelings to be there without fixing them. This isn't self-indulgence. This is emotional maintenance. So let's figure out a way to unwind without the wine, right? Do it ahead of time. You don't need a drink to relax, but you do need to plan for relaxation. So try this. Choose 1 or 2 ritual replacements for Friday night. Make them sensory, something like warm tea, cozy socks, a candle, a mocktail, music that you love, a snack that you really enjoy. Make them visible as well. Don't just think about it. Write it down. Put it on your calendar. Literally think about how you're going to unwind without the wine. And make them personal, not just bubble baths, but what makes you feel safe and feel seen? For me, a bath is actually what I really enjoy, so it is something that is very personal for me. But you know what else is really personal is actually the sound of water rushing. And, look up ASMR, but I love the noise of water. And so for me, that's something that helps me relax and unwind. Things like this tell your brain, we don't need alcohol to feel okay. And it's important to keep reminding your brain that that is the case. We also have to deconstruct the thought, not the drink. Instead of over obsessing about how many drinks you had during the week, really, I definitely talk about a doable drink plan. I absolutely believe in the benefit of planning ahead and the tactical use of a doable drink plan. That said, what I want you to focus on is why you wanted the number of drinks that you wanted. Ask yourself, what was I hoping the drink would help me feel? What emotion was I avoiding? What else could I do when I feel that way? You don't have to deny your desire, right? You've created the desire because you've created a habit system around alcohol. That's what you need to understand. The person that emailed me, like I said, about the podcast episode, or she didn't post, she didn't email me, she posted it in our Facebook group. That was great. I also get emails from people, and somebody wrote me and talked about going past their plan every Saturday night. Like it's something that was just continually happening. But they started journaling, and what they noticed was that every Friday they were exhausted, overwhelmed, and angry. And she realized, I have not made space for myself all week. And she said, now I get it. The drinking wasn't about Friday. It was about Monday through Thursday. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly it. And really kind of the genesis or part of the genesis of this episode. Drinking is never just about the drinking. It's about the stories we're telling. It's about the emotions we're ignoring. And it's about the patterns that we have never learned to interrupt. So if you've ever said, I just can't stick to moderation, let me offer you this instead. How about we say, maybe I've been asking too much of myself without giving enough back. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're not someone who just can't moderate. You're a human being whose brain is trying to solve for relief the best way that it knows how. You can teach it something new. You can build better patterns, and you can create peace with alcohol and with yourself. It starts with asking not, what's wrong with me on the weekends? Instead, ask, what am I ignoring all week long? Now, if this episode hit home, I would love to hear from you. And what's one way that you can give yourself some emotional rest this week before the weekend hits? You can shoot me an email. You can definitely come into the Alcohol Minimalist Facebook group. And if you'd like to check out how I work with people in a deeper way, you can go to my website, www.mollywatts.com/workwithme, and learn about Making Peace with Alcohol, my group coaching program, or Proof Positive, my one-on-one coaching experience for women. All right, my friends, that is all I have for you this week. Until next time, choose peace, and I will see you on Thursday. Thanks for listening to the Alcohol Minimalist podcast. Take something you learned from this week's episode and put it into action. Changing your drinking habits and creating a peaceful relationship with alcohol is 100% possible. You can stop worrying, stop feeling guilty about overdrinking, and become someone who desires alcohol less. I work with people in 2 different ways, and you can learn about them over at my website. Go to www.mollywatts.com/workwithme, or reach out to me directly. Shoot me an email, molly@mollywatts.com. We'll jump on a call and decide what might work best for you. This podcast is really just the beginning of our conversation. Let's keep it going. If there's one thing I know, it's that change is way easier when you stop trying to do it alone.